Hi, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm designing a layout for Papermaze. This is my second layout created with the Carta Winter Market collection, and I was in the mood to make a grid styled layout today. So I've printed my photo off in 4x4 inches as a starting point, and then just went through the patterned papers selecting which I thought went best with my photo. So what I've done on just a spare piece of 12x12 paper is kind of planned out how I want my layout to look with the grid sections. So I'm not doing a standard like 3x3 or 4x4 styled grid. I wanted to mix and match some different sizes around my photo. So I'm cutting my patterned papers into, I've got bits that are 2x2 inches and some that are 2x4 inches. And I've used the Frosty Plaid, which is, I think that's the one I just picked up actually. I've used both sides of that, A and B. I've used Stay Cozy, the B side of the 4x4 journaling cards, and the B side of the 3x4 journaling cards, and also the Winter Florals paper. Had I thought about this a bit more and not rushed into it, I should have cut my pieces slightly smaller than 2x2 and 2x4, or just trimmed them down, because my photo is only 4x4 inches and I want to mat it on white cardstock. Where I want to leave a gap between all of the patterned paper pieces, I'm not sure if I'm explaining this clearly, but where I've got two 2x2 pieces with a gap in the middle, it makes them slightly bigger than a 4x4 photo. So I kind of have to jiggle my spacing a little bit, but it works in the end. And on this particular paper, because it's got all these cute little animals and snowmen on it, I had to be careful how I cut it. So I've just drawn a 2x2 square around this snowman just to make sure I don't cut him in half or anything. So that's all my patterned paper pieces cut out, and I'm just seeing how I want them arranged on my page. Because some of the patterned papers are darker, I didn't want all of the darker ones in one section, so I just tried to spread them out a bit. And then I'm using the edge of my scissors blade just to distress all the edges, as I really love the texture that gives on a layout. And then this is just a sheet of foam, and I'm going to go around the edge of each of the patterned pieces and just pierce holes in, because I'm going to add some silver hand stitching to all these pieces. And for that I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers. It's a silver metallic thread you can get in the shop, and I really love stitching with that. It's lovely. So here's where I decided to be a little bit brave and veer away from the white background. This basil cardstock is textured. It's called Coastal and it's in the Matchmaker pack. So I thought I would challenge myself to have a coloured background. But obviously I had to jazz it up a little bit for me. So I've got some white gesso here that I've watered down slightly, and I'm going to add some splatters to the background. That's just going to add a lot more interest to the page, and it kind of resembles snow. So the photo I've got today is of my little boy and I. We went on a walk and it was freezing. It was -3. And it was so icy and frosty. So I thought, although it's not really snowing, the white splatters on the background kind of resembled the wintry weather we had that day. And it just adds a lot more interest and texture to the background rather than it being just a solid plain colour. So I just need to make sure I've got even spacing all around the outside of my layout, and then I can start sticking those down. So I'm going to stick all of the patterned paper pieces flat with double-sided tape and line them up correctly, and then my photo I'm going to raise up on some craft foam just to help it kind of pop out from the page a bit, and then I find that just helps to draw your eye to your photo a bit more. So there we go, they are all stuck down now, and before I stick my photo down I just add some more of those white gesso splatters just so that the patterned paper pieces have got some on as well. And then once that's done I can stick my photo down. I wanted to have the title for this layout as Winter Walks, and I've got these lovely silver glittered thickers in my stash, but I didn't have any A's left, so I didn't have any L's either actually, I don't think, so I had to get a bit creative and trim some other letters down to try and make myself an A. So I think I've used a V upside down, and then I think I had an H that I've trimmed a little bit off to go across the A there and across the bottom of the L. So there usually is a way to make some letters out of what you have left if you don't have the letters you're looking for. So in this case it was really simple actually. I've tried to make S's before, that can be a little more tricky, but yeah, the A was really quite simple. So now I'm moving on to embellishing my layout, and I quickly discovered that all the pieces of the ephemera pack that I've got are quite large, and I've cut my grid pieces quite small, so it didn't really work, it didn't look right. So thankfully I've got the Elements sticker sheet as well, and this is absolutely chock-a-block full of stickers. There are so many on this, it will last loads and loads of layouts. So I've decided I'm going to go to town and use loads of them on this layout because they're all really small stickers, so perfect for this grid layout. So on our walk, it was at one of our local National Trust sites. We had to walk down kind of like a woodland path, and it's lined on either side with just trees, just hundreds and hundreds of trees. So I've taken all the little tree stickers off of the from the Elements sticker sheet, and I've lined them up on two of the grid squares just to kind of replicate our walk, and I've raised those up onto foam pads. Because I stuck the pattern paper pieces down flat on my background, I like a lot of dimension on my layouts, so I'm using foam pads behind all of these stickers just to bring that level of dimension. So as well as the tree stickers, I've also got some word stickers I'm putting on. The ones I'm overlapping on my photo there, the first one says winter and the one underneath says Wonderland. Then I've got another one that says it's hot chocolate weather, which it most certainly was. We did have a hot chocolate when we got home from this walk. I'll pop another one on that says today was perfect. And then I've just got a couple more elements. So there's some mountains. We didn't really climb any mountains this day, but the lane we had to walk down to get to the lake was all downhill on the way down. On the way up it was uphill, and by then Riley was tired and needed carrying, so that was fun. But I thought that the hills and the mountains would work well for that. I've used the mittens because we're both wearing gloves in our photo, and also because they were green. And I've got my son's green coat in the photo, and the rectangle at the bottom where I've put my title is a kind of a minty green colour, so I wanted to bring some more green into the layout, so I've used those mittens. I've added a floral sticker to the bottom right corner, and I've added a cluster of that silver We Are Memory Keepers thread behind that as well, just to bring in more of the silver that I've used for the hand stitching. That's the piece there that says today was perfect. I wanted to add a couple of bits to that top left square there because I've got the floral cluster at the bottom right. I felt like I needed something up the top to balance that the layout out. So I initially had a, I think it was a round piece from the ephemera pack, but it was slightly too big. Oh no, sorry, it was a sticker. It was a floral sticker from this sticker sheet, but it was slightly too big. So I've cut a very small cluster out from the Winter Florals patterned paper, and I'm just going to stick that at the top left-hand corner there, with another thread cluster behind it. And I feel that that balances the page out a lot better. So everything is stuck down now, and I'm looking at my layout thinking it needed a border of some sort. I'm notorious for adding borders to my layouts, either stitching or a Nouveau drop border, or more often than not a patterned paper border. But I couldn't decide which paper to use, so I tore off a couple of strips thinking maybe I could add small bits. I could cut sort of a tear off the top of the page and pop some patterned paper behind it, but it didn't look right. So in the end, I've just drawn a white border around the edge of my page with a Uniball Signo white gel pen, and then I'm just finishing my layout off with some silver splatters. This is a Tim Holtz Distress Spray Stain in brushed pewter, so it just ties in a bit more of the silver, and that's me done. So thank you very much for joining me. Please do check out the collection in the shop, and if you'd like to see direct links to everything I've used, you can find those over on the Papermaze blog. So thanks again, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.